right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to our special City Commission meeting, Tuesday, December 16th, starting at 6 o'clock p.m. And we will call this meeting to order with roll call. City Clerk, please.
Commissioner McCutcheon,
Present.
Vice Mayor Williams,
Here.
Commissioner Watts,
Here.
Mayor Varian,
Present.
and Commissioner Taylor. I believe he is not on yet. He might be appearing virtually. That's for Fred Fox. Yeah. So he's not here yet, but he might be appearing virtually.
Attorney Smith speaking. If he's going to appear virtually at some point, there may need to be a motion for him to be able to participate. I'm not sure what the nature around his absence is, but.
Okay. All right, so we will move on with the invocation, which will be led by Commissioner McCutcheon, and then immediately following, we will do the Pledge of Allegiance. And please stand.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you this evening with grateful hearts, and we're thankful for an opportunity to gather in such a forum. We ask, oh God, that you will grant us wisdom, oh Father God, to make the decisions that are in the best interest of all parties involved. We ask that you guide and order every step. We ask, oh God, a special blessing for Commissioner Watts as he prepares to lay to rest his father. We pray for him, his family, and we pray, oh God, that you will comfort his heart during his time of sorrow. Bless this meeting, oh Father God, that we are about to enter. And Father God, we'll be ever mindful to give you glory, honor, and praise for all things that shall be said and done in this place. It's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Commissioner.
I would like to offer my condolences to the Watts family. I wasn't aware of the passing of your father.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
And also, could we have someone check on the note? Just one out of the All right, so we're going to move right on into the public forum. It is 6:03, and to speak on the public forum, you will be given up to 6:05 to register. So I want to make sure that everyone gets opportunity. Yes, sir.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the commission, I wanted to make a statement before we get started.
Yes, sir.
On items E7 and E8, I'd like to have that deferred until the January 13th regular city commission meeting. We were trying to accommodate the data center, but apparently we don't have the final draft of the actual development agreement yet, internally reviewed. So once we get that, then we'll get it to the city commission. You guys can review it and have time, and then we'll have the public meeting on it on the 13th.
Okay. Attorney Smith, do we need a motion to remove? I'll entertain a motion to strike items E07, resolution number 2025-131, and E08, resolution number 2025-132.
Mr. Mayor, I move to strike items E7 and E8 until our January 13th regularly scheduled commission meeting.
Second.
So we have a motion and a proper second to strike the two items as motioned. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? None. Motion carries. So in the event that Mr. Taylor joins us, I would like to entertain a motion to allow him to participate in the meeting.
So move.
Second.
Discussion.
Go ahead.
Madam Mayor, Attorney, in order for it to be an excused absence, does it have to be one of the excuses that are recognized by the statute to allow off-site meeting attendance involvement.
So I think we've had a few discussions on this in the past. And if you look at the Attorney General opinions, usually you would have to have some type of policy or procedure in place. You all don't have one specifically. So each time I recommended that you put one in place, you generally vote before the person takes a vote when they're going to appear virtually. A lot of the case law, a lot of the opinions that are out there for the Attorney General do hinge on there being some type of medical emergency or state. It doesn't necessarily have to be an emergency, but some type of medical thing. I'm not sure of the facts of why Mr. Taylor's not here. So, and I don't know what this commission wants to do as far as allowing it or not, but usually from the Attorney General opinions, it is more so reserved for anything that's medical.
Thank you for that. I just want to add to be consistent and fair towards Commissioner Taylor, as we have not established a policy, and I do recommend us moving forward with a policy as we enter into the new year with the new commission seated. But we should move in the same consistency as we have in times past, and we have not put any parameters around when it's permissible. Anything further?
Nope.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to permit Mr. Taylor, Commissioner Taylor, in the event that he logs on, participates. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like sign.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And just for clarification, is the commission directing me to put a policy in place or to get you guys a sample policy?
Sample.
Okay.
Thank you. And I agree with that. Are we all in agreement with that? I just don't want it to be perceived as a unilateral thing. I just want us all to be on the same page. All right. Now, with that being said, each person addressing the commission shall sign in with the city clerk no later than 6:05. The person shall step up to the microphone and shall give his or her name and address in an audible tone for the record, and unless further time is granted by the commission, shall limit their address to the 3 minutes. All remarks shall be addressed to the commission as a body and not to any member thereof. No person other than the members of the commission having the floor shall be permitted to enter into any discussion either directly or through the members of the commission. Who do we have, Deputy Clerk?
Teresa Keene.
All right, Ms. Keene.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Teresa
Ms.
Keene.
Keene, would you just
Yeah. Teresa Keene, 809 Edgewood Drive North, Fort Meade. Okay, this is nearly the end of the year. A few things I'd like to say. I have faith in our elected officials, but it's like Washington. They got so much that they just won't agree on, and that should not happen here. There are so many, and to go back and say, well, we have this problem because the previous commission, that needs to come to a halt. Designate the problem, write it down, put it on an agenda, fix the problem. There's too many things going on. Don't just put a Band-Aid on it and keep going. We've got to get things straightened out. We might be small, but we're not hillbillies. Yeah. Okay. So please work diligently this next year. Thank you.
Thank you.
next, if there be any?
Tim Grant.
Hi, my name's Tim Grant. I live at 901 First Street, Northeast in Fort Meade, Florida. I also teach here at the school. I teach world history and I also teach government class. So I conducted a vote about the data center with my 16 to 18-year-old government kids. And so I conducted it. I looked at the benefits of the data processing plant in a small town. Funny thing, AI only gives the benefits. Sounds exactly like what they're trying to tell us with this data processing companies is telling the board of Fort Meade. The illusion of a contract or agreement that would be voted on to have monetary strings. Otherwise, why are we here? Let the community vote on this issue. My students said they thought it was nonsensical to have just a board vote on it, not the people of Fort Meade. Basically, once it's done, nothing can be done about it. You can't untie it once it's done. So my class, with the experiment, I put the benefits, and I also found from the University of Michigan that has been doing studies about data centers up on the board. And I said, I want you to vote. It came out to be 6 yay, 51 nay. All right? One of my students wrote down as a comment, why would we want something that doesn't improve our community without costing us? No job production and not a lot of pay for people in Fort Meade. But then we would have to pay more for taxes and utilities. People in Fort Meade live paycheck to paycheck. Already, this would just make our lives even worse. All right? These kids are not dumb. They know what's going on. They're going to be voters and they're going to live here. I think the 6 nays that I had, I think the only one that had any comment was, he said, Fort Meade needs to expand. He doesn't live here. He doesn't even live in Fort Meade. All right. So, by the way, Governor DeSantis opposes the development of AI data centers in Florida. He's expressed skepticism about the necessity of hyperscale AI data centers, stating that Floridians should not be forced to subsidize them. DeSantis emphasized his commitment to protecting residents from potential harms associated with AI technologies through his proposed Artificial Intelligence Bill of Rights, which aims to shield citizens from tech overreach. In a recent roundtable discussion, he reiterated that Florida existing limits would prevail against any federal AI executive orders. I think y'all need to really look into what's going on out there in the world and look at what's happening in other small towns around the country. And I actually looked up some things. Water usage. And I looked up what we have for water usage in Little Fort Meade.
Thank you, Mr. Grant. That's time.
Thank you for your time.
Yes, sir. Next.
Missy McLaughlin, Renez.
Hi, I'm Missy McLaughlin Rainey, 4230 Highway 17 North, Fort Meade. My biggest question right now is just if we could get some more information about this data center prior to the next meeting, it would be helpful. I think that's the reason for the request to table it till the January 13th meeting, is that we don't have the paperwork yet. Is that correct?
The agreement, final draft of our.
Will that be made public? Perfect. All right. I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Jonathan Coddington.
I'm good.
Okay. Ben Spate.
Ben Spake, 613 Northeast 3rd Street, Fort Meade. I find it more than troubling that a commissioner and a city manager in the last couple of meetings would suggest that an appointed person for District 1 did not necessarily have to live in that district. The data center is a big deal for the city of Fort Meade, especially in terms of the amount of money generated for the city. However, until we have hired an expert on data center operation and have all the positive and negative effects of its operation, we are miles away from making a decision on it coming to Fort Meade. I personally would want a solid guarantee that I would not have to listen to some humming noise at my house for the rest of my life, and be assured that there will be no harmful effects to our electric grid, water availability, hazardous byproducts. I also have serious doubts that any person in this room is qualified to sign or negotiate a development agreement with Stonebridge Development. The idea that we will not find a city manager candidate that hasn't had some kind of a problem and it's all right to go ahead and hire them is ridiculous. If a candidate has a history of criminality, of previously being terminated, being arrested, been charged with sexual assault, we should not hire them. And I added to that anymore. I also believe we actually need a city. I also believe if we actually need a city manager, allowing them to work 2 or 3 days is a crazy damn fool idea. And I will restate the fact that the charter says we can only have one interim manager. In my opinion, we are still going against the charter. Relative to the PRWC, the water cooperative, will an actual water line be run to the city of Fort Meade, or will it still be virtual water? I notice that's on your agenda tonight. Most of all, can we afford to join this project? Everything I hear on the street is, I've lost my train of thought there anyway. I've also asked the city for revenue numbers for what used to be our trailer park. I think it's very important that we know. One of the things that happened when we owned the park, we could not charge for water and sewer. And I think since now we're supposed to be, I haven't gotten the answer yet, we're supposed to be getting water and sewer charged. We're also getting property taxes and the other charges that we put on the other public residences. We need to know that number. I think it's important. Thank you.
Barbara Arnold.
Barbara Arnold, 624th Street Northeast. Last night I went to the town hall meeting I got at 5:30. So whoever put it out didn't put it out in enough time for all the citizens or residents to come to that meeting. However, this data center has really got me screwed up because there was a gentleman sitting out there in the crowd and mentioned the word Stonebridge. When he mentioned that word Stonebridge, a lot of stuff come back to my mind, and I know where it come from now. Drumgo, the previous manager of Fort Meade, Elise Drumgo, works for the Capital City Consulting now. Capital City Consulting working for Stonebridge. Stonebridge is a developer involved with the data center. And I will say it again, they are involved with the data center. Stonebridge is a developer involved with the data center, which means, Mr. Mayor, Capital City Consulting, where Mr. Drumgo is a partner, works directly with the company that's building this data center. Last night at the town hall, you told me that I was spreading false rumors. There was no truth to that. Mr. Drumgo is involved with the data center. It's called to question now, are you benefiting from the data center? This is where I have questions about all the commissioners. Who's involved with this and who's not involved? Who's getting kickbacks and who's not? And I know Drumgo is going to get a kickback if he's working. And it clearly says, because I had all the paperwork already. I just had to go home and find it after I left that meeting. And now I want to find out, when did Stonebridge hire Capital City Consulting? Because it seems to me there's a conflict of interest. I may not know everything, but I do know this.
Next person.
Commissioner Taylor is now on.
Thank you for joining us, Commissioner Taylor.
Good evening.
Candace Lott.
Before Ms. Lott come up, I just want to be on the record saying that I stand to gain nothing from this deal. And again, I refute any allegation that any commissioner here is benefiting from this happening. And I know Ms. King said there shouldn't be this back and forth, but when it's time to clarify the record, we should always. There has never been a case when new business was coming to the town that any prior commissioners was accused of standing to benefit. I just want to point that out. And I will continue to point out for the record whenever there is a difference in how this commission is being addressed and previous commissions that did not have this makeup were addressed. I will continue to do that. Sorry, Ms. King. All right. Come on up, Ms. Lott. Okay. Next person.
Raul Alfonso.
I'm Raul Alfonso from 313 South Orange Avenue. I'm speaking on something that it seems the school kids did a lot of research themselves on. I've dug up a lot of information myself on the data centers. I like technology, but I love our town. I moved here because I fell in love with this town. These data centers are not good for any of the towns they've moved in. I can't find good stuff that they've done for any of them. And what I'm worried about is the quality of life for the residents of this town. The air, the light pollution, the water issues, and the electricity, that is all going to be an issue. It's going to be raising prices for just about everything there because of the increase in usage. Is going to have an infrastructure that's available to actually handle that. And I just worry about it. And I'd like to see a lot of answers. And I know you guys are you're looking into it too, but the community has questions, and we really need those answers in a public forum. If that's an official town hall meeting that people can ask these questions in, and if you can get somebody from the development to come answer these questions for us, it would save everybody a whole lot of headache and heartache. And we just need to have this done before somebody's voting on something, because as it was said, once this is done, you're not going to undo it. All we're going to be doing is fixing the problems that this causes and trying to fix those problems that snowball and snowball and snowball. That's basically all I got to say. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Raul.
Thank you.
Lisa Rice.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Lisa Rice, 504 North Pine Avenue here in Fort Meade. We did get the 5th commissioner. Yay. When it first started, there was a lot of ruckus. I voiced my opinion because the verbiage was not set in charter about who could replace it. Are we going to fix the charter in the future so there's no more problems in the future? I'm just trying to look forward to see if that's something that should be addressed before it happens again. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, so is that on the boards to be?
Yeah. So I expressed in our last meeting, whenever Commissioner Watts suggested that we should table or wait to see our newest commissioner until we get that worked out.
Got
That
it.
is not a process that will happen overnight, and for that reason, that's why we move forward.
Right.
But we have already expressed to our administration that this is something that we need to get done, and at that point, that will be moving forward.
And I applaud the commission for your vote. Thank you. One other thing, if I may, with
1 second, Mr. Taylor.
I second.
We did not have a.
so I could.
Okay, so do you care to add more to that comment you made? I second, Commissioner Taylor.
I'm very much torn. I've done my own research on some of this. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I've done my own research, but I just don't want to rush into anything. So, really, the answer is I think out in the future, not immediate. But I'm just one voice.
Commissioner Taylor, for clarity, she was speaking on
Future fix.
future fix for
What we just had.
the district
Appointment.
parameters,
Parameter.
the lines,
Oh.
and that thing. So
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
sorry. I'm getting a little bit of buzz. I'm on a ship. So, yeah, no, I think that needs to be taken care of. You know, if the public is perceiving that we're not on the up and up, then you know, I think it can be addressed.
all right, thank you.
And I know you guys will take care of it. And I'm kind of curious with everything that's been going on at the data center, everything you've heard. I don't know if anybody contacted you.
That's time.
Really?
Well, Mr.
It was all his.
What
We interject.
was that question? Was that question directed at me?
No, it was not. So
Okay.
what she's addressing is some of her time was used by Mr. Matt's response. So I'll permit 15 more seconds.
Thank you. I'm just curious how the commission feels now about the data center. I know you're not voting, but I think some of us would love to know how you feel.
Thank you. Next. All right. So if we will close public forum at this time and move on to item E, discussion of interim city manager, vice manager appointment.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Fort Meade, Florida, appointing an interim city manager pursuant to Section 10 of the city charter, providing for temporary assignment of powers and duties of the city manager, providing for term of appointment, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
All right. So anyone care to go first?
Absolutely. I'll jump in. I know that we've had a lot of conversation, justifiably so, around what does the future look like regarding interim city manager, vice city manager conversation. I would like to introduce again or further the thought that I have done extensive research on Mr. Daryl LaTroy Bell, and I would like to make a motion that we offer the position of city manager to Mr. Daryl LaTroy Bell.
So there's a motion on the floor. Is there a
I
second?
make a second.
There's-
I make a second on that motion. I have done research as well. The city manager was kind enough to give me all the interview resumes, and I second that motion.
All right, discussion.
So discussion.
We are in the process now of getting background checks. I think it's prudent that we stop and wait for the background checks to further process, to consider the process we've already put in place. And I've done my background checks and my research, past just reading the resume, and I have done it on Mr. Bill before. And other times he has applied, another time he's applied for me. And I could not support that motion.
Okay. And I too am not in favor of
If
moving forward.
I apologize
In the
if I may. I
discussion.
know there was a motion, a second at that time. We need to go ahead and allow the public to come up. After the public comment is cut off on this, then the commission would discuss and the public would not be involved in that discussion once it's in discussion phase with the commission.
Is there anyone from the public who would like to speak on this topic? Come forward. Got me.
Ben Spate, 613 Northeast 3rd Street, Fort Meade. Background checks are important, as we've said before, and knowing the credentials of someone, comparing them with others. And like I said, I know that last week someone made the comment that everybody's going to have faults. I haven't looked at any of these, and I kind of find that ridiculous. That if there's people out there that are looking to work here and they fail a background check, we shouldn't be hiring them. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but if you haven't done the check, if you don't know everything that's involved, then it's too early to vote.
Okay.
Good evening. As it relates to city manager, interim city manager, I'm of the opinion that rumors are always floating around. If you have not done the research, you don't know the facts, please stop spreading false rumors about people or things that you read on social media, which most of the time are just opinions or not facts. We rely on the commission. We've hired them to do a job. Let's allow them to do the job in hopes that they would do the most effective job for our residents. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Next. Come on up.
Lisa Rice, just want to put it on record. I'd like to hear more about all the other candidates before we settle on one.
Okay. Anyone else?
Jordan Watley, Mr. Bell, you guys might have not done a whole lot of research on him, but he has been let go by previous employers from the other municipalities. So I don't know if you're aware of that, but I'm making that aware for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, so we will close that discussion, and then I will continue in. I think we move forward with hiring a firm to do a job. Paid them in excess of, I think it's $24,000 to do it, and to cut this process short now is a waste of all of that money. I feel that we need to move forward with a thorough process and then make the decision at the appropriate time. I think it's premature to make to vote on putting in a city manager without that process going forward. Any other further discussion?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, Mr. Brown, Mr. Bell, I apologize. He has applied previously. I have spoken with him. I've done some diligence in researching the information that the majority of you are finding startling on social media. There's always multiple sides to a story, and then there's the truth. And so being able to speak with individuals who were closely tied to the allegations, and finding and discovering what the truth is. I would be comfortable with hiring Mr. Bell at this juncture, but also I would like to, of course, see the background screening just to make sure there is nothing that gets past us. I'll put it that way. No criminal acts or anything like that. So I would be comfortable with hire him pending the outcome of the background investigation. But also the question I do have is, since we are talking about hiring a vice manager, it's the 16th. Mr. Brown's contract ends on the 27th. I don't know if that will allow Mr. Bell adequate enough time, if he is selected tonight, to be able to get acclimated, get transferred up to date on all the pending projects. And so that would still leave us with no one at the helm. So I would like to know what's the resolve for that. If Mr. Bell is selected, what's the resolve for the gap? Because we still have to have somebody.
So if I may, I've spoken to Mr. Bell regarding availability, and I know that he is available. So regarding schedule, he's available. I think it's important and it's prudent that we bring him in, and we will, city attorney, city staff will discuss the when the exact date that he can get here. But it's important as we the way that this commission looks is going to change next month. I think there should be the same learning curve for the new city manager as well as those who are coming in. I also just want to state, I know we're discussing background checks. The commission has made hires to city managers in the past, not directly tied to the passing of a background check. So just so that we're clear, I too understand what you're saying, Commissioner. I made a motion in the past pending a background check. It didn't pass, but I do want to state that Mr. Bell is very qualified to have this position. From your research, from our research, he is qualified for this position and is ready to take the position.
Any further discussion?
I would also like to find out, is Ms. Smith there? The attorney there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, she's present.
I would like to find out, as with regard to the city charter, if we don't have someone as spoken at the helm, and Mr. Brown stays on, and we do the vice manager, that is sort of rewriting some of the charter. Is that a viable alternative, Ms. Smith?
Mr. Brown's current contract says it cannot be extended or renewed.
Okay, that's what I'm concerned about.
Okay, so currently we have a motion on the floor. Yes, go ahead, sir.
I got a question to the city attorney.
Go ahead.
Does I go ahead and vote tonight with a pending motion, or just straight out vote? Does that, breaking off the process that's in place, is that going to leave us open to a contested appointment advertisement?
Well, the commission can vote however they like, so long as it's not illegal. So if the commission chose to vote tonight, there's a valid motion and a second on the floor. So a vote would have to be had on that unless it was rescinded.
Would have the grounds to protest?
Well, the best way I can explain this is any individual can always bring a suit against any entity for whatever reason they choose. It doesn't mean that they're going to be successful.
Right.
So as I understand, there is a motion to offer, right? And then there was a question on pending background check. I feel that if there is a pending background check, then there needs to be what parameters that would signify, say, yes, move forward, or no, don't. Because if we motion to move forward, then there is no space to then reevaluate once the background check is actually completed.
That wasn't the
Well, let me
motion.
clarify this. The motion on the floor is to hire the person who has been requested of by Commissioner Williams, and then there was a proper second.
Correct.
So after discussion, a vote would need to be called.
Correct. And I have not called a vote yet because these are the things that I want on the record, is that these were the concerns made. If indeed this background check comes through and it does not pass the litmus test, how do you move forward in that event? It won't be. We will have whom has been accepted. Is that correct?
So let me answer this in a hypothetical, but I'm going to break it into two parts. Currently, right now, that scenario would not take place if you were to vote on the motion as is, because the motion does not include doing a background check. However, if the motion were to be amended and it were to include doing a background check, at that point in time, the commission would have discussion and they would tell staff what they were looking for in a background check. It's not for staff to tell you all what to do. You're in the seat. You have to tell us what you would like to see in that background check as far as what passing means and what passing does not mean. Keep in mind that this city as a whole, for the commission, you represent the city, you are allowed to vote in whatever way you like, right? And that's the will of the commission by a majority 3-2 vote, so long as it is not in conflict with your charter or it's not in conflict with some law. So I want to just be very clear about that part tonight. If something is not illegal, then it can be done. Also, with your contracts, generally you have a provision in there. I don't know if any contract the city has entered into since I've been here or in the past that says that you can't get out of those contracts. There's always an out. I believe in my contract, I believe in Mr. Brown's contract. It basically says we serve at the will of the commission and your pleasure. So at any time, any one of us who holds these seats can be voted out by 3-2. So the commission is never, in essence, stuck with anybody.
Correct. And with that said, that if there's no further discussion, all in favor, all in favor of offering to Mr. Bell, signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 3-2. Now, so we were here at discussion of interim city manager, vice manager appointment. We're still here. What is the will of the commission? We've offered discussion on this item. Let's offer discussion right now on this item.
So just for clarification purposes, I think I might be a little bit lost. It sounds like Commissioner Williams said that Mr. Bell is able to start.
Well, who's confirmed that?
So at this point, the only thing that you would have to say that is confirmed would be his word.
Correct. So we're dealing with this item. We have not moved past it. So at this time, we need to finish this item unless I have a motion to do anything different.
That's correct.
Correct.
We would have to direct staff, the attorney, to reach out to Mr. Bell, and to work out the terms of the contract and get a start date
Great.
immediately.
Yes. Is that by motion?
It doesn't satisfy item E01, but we can move on whatever's proposed. So,
If it's immediate,
Okay.
So do we have a motion? Is that a motion?
Well, I make a motion to direct Attorney Smith to reach out to Mr. LaTroy Bell regarding the terms of contract for hire and to confirm an immediate start date. And I guess we could, but see, we don't meet again until January 13th.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you can still work out the terms of the contract with Mr. Brown and just Mr. Bell, two B's with Mr. Bell. And I guess like in previous times, you would forward that to each individual commissioner for review, and then we'll discuss it at our January 13th meeting. Would that be correct?
I would need to talk with each one of you all, but generally the terms of the contract and what you want in the contract, we would put on record for the public to know as far as compensation and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yes. Okay. All right. So again, the motion would be.
I was just gonna say,
I'm not.
can you have a meeting next week?
I was wondering. I don't think so.
If you have a meeting next week, it's pretty easy to do an ISMA employment agreement and move this thing to approval.
Can't hear you.
Sorry about that. If there's a reason, if there's a way to schedule a special meeting on Monday or Tuesday, it is easy to generate an ICMA standard employment agreement and meet those terms quickly. Okay, I'm certain that Mr. Bell will make himself available and the attorney can have a meeting of the minds and this can get done because I think they all know what's happening here. So that's up to the commission. I just thought I'd throw that out there. That way it's seamless and he could start, immediately.
Okay.
Okay.
I do recall that at our last meeting, no one was available on the 22nd or 23rd. So are we now making ourselves available?
Now, I'm not available on Monday.
Yeah,
Definitely.
neither am I.
That's my father's funeral.
Okay.
Neither am I. I'm not available on the 22nd.
Okay.
I am available on the 22nd if anyone else is.
No. No.
Is there another date? And what we're doing is identifying a date before the 27th. Is that what
Yeah,
we're?
the 27th is a Saturday.
It's a Saturday.
Okay.
So and we agreed to let employees off on that Friday.
Correct.
Yes. And the only other date is the
And
23rd.
so you have Monday, Tuesday.
Wednesday.
What's the notice time?
We'll work that out. I mean, on something like this is going to come into an emergency almost.
And the reason I'm asking, I know we're on Tuesday. Is Friday an option?
Well, Friday is the day that
You guys.
Staff are
Oh,
off.
that's this coming Friday.
next
No,
Friday.
sir,
Next Friday.
So here's what I'm asking. Today is the 16th,
Oh, okay.
the 19th.
Okay.
That's 72 hours from now.
Well, it depends on the motive, how motivated Mr. Bell and Ms. Smith can get together and put this together. And
Okay.
that's what it's going to come down to.
Not available. Okay.
Oh, not
That's pretty short time frame to negotiate a contract this serious.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, schedule.
Not available. I'm available on
Holidays.
23rd. That's it.
Commissioner McCutcheon is available on the 23rd, which is what, a Tuesday? Is that a
Tuesday.
Tuesday?
I can do the 23rd as well.
But Monday's definitely out for me, and possibly the 23rd also, depending on what comes up with funeral arrangements, family that are in town
Yes, sir.
for my issues.
Okay. I can also be available on the 23rd.
Less than people.
That sounds like a quorum. What time?
That does sound like a quorum.
Okay.
I'm available anytime.
Okay. Could 5 p.m. work?
Works for me.
5 p.m.
That works for me.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna include that in the motion.
All right. So, Mr. Mayor, I move that we schedule a special meeting for December 23rd at 5 p.m. to review an agreement for Mr. LaTroy Bell and the city of Fort Meade for consideration for hire.
Second.
So we have a motion and a proper second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, like sign.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-2. Moving on to
Mr. Mayor, I just have a question because I don't have the knowledge. I think I have knowledge. With every city manager that's hired, does the city do an independent background check as well? Is that with every city manager or no?
that's been the practice.
Yes.
So there will be. Oh,
It would have been the practice had we run the search internally,
okay.
but because we did pay an outside consulting firm to do it for us, the background check was included in their contract.
Understood. In times past, when there has been a contracting service, has the city not then done their own background check? I just don't have the
None of us
knowledge.
was here.
Okay.
We had mostly done background checks.
The city has.
Yes, or city or our firm. When we did background checks done. Recently, we've had, during I think the interim basis here now, the last year or two, we have done so without a background check. But it was not a
We-
general practice.
During the time that I've been here, we've never hired an outside agency to perform this process. So we have always internally conducted this background check.
Okay, thank you. Yes, sir.
So for clarification, item E01, do we need a motion to strike that item?
You can amend the agenda or withdraw it, strike it. Either of those processes is okay.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
A motion to strike item E01, discussion on interim city manager, vice manager appointment.
Second.
So we have a motion and a proper second to strike item E01. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All,
Aye.
and all opposed signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 4-1. Moving on to item E02, resolution number 2025-126.
A resolution of the City of Fort Meade, Florida, authorizing the execution of Amendment Number 1 to Task Order Number 1505-18-1 with CPH Consulting LLC for professional engineering services with the SRF Safi Water Treatment Plant Resiliency Upgrades Project.
Yeah, I'm waiting on presentation.
Good evening, Commissioners. This amendment provides a compensation, a compensation to the Phase 2 construction design services and Phase 3 construction phase services to align with the FDEP grant agreement. Phase 1 remains unchanged. There is an adjusted amount to the total task order of $665,000. There is no budgetary impact to the city, as all costs are fully funded through the grant, the DEP grant. Approval allows the project to move forward in compliance with the grant requirements and supports the long-term resiliency of the city's water treatment facility.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any discussion?
I have none.
None.
Anyone from the public care to speak on this item? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve amendment number 1 to task order number 1505-18-1, authorizing the mayor to execute the associated resolution and take all necessary actions to implement the amendment.
Second.
So we have a motion and a proper second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All, any opposed like sign? Motion carries. Moving on to item E03, resolution 2025-127.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Fort Meade, Florida, approving Exhibit K, amendment to Task Order Number 1 under the agreement between owner and engineer for professional services. Task Order Addition dated March 12, 2024 with CPH Consulting LLC for the SRF Safi Water Treatment Facility, WWTF Resiliency Upgrades Project, authorizing the mayor to execute the amendment, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date.
Mr. Mayor and Commissioners, this is for the wastewater treatment facility. This is also a critical infrastructure project. This amends the task order for phases 2 and 3. It is still in line with the FDEP Environmental Protection Grant agreements. The Phase 2 pre-construction design services was $401,000. Phase 3 construction phase technical services was $497,000 for a total amendment of $898,000. Phase 1 remained unchanged at $62,000, resulting in an adjusted total task order of $960,000. Again, there is no budgetary impact to the city, as all of these costs were included in the DEP grant and are consistent with the grant funding. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone from the community would like to speak on this item? No one? All right. I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move to adopt resolution number 2025-127, approving Exhibit K, amendment to the task order number 1 with CPH Consulting for the SRF Safi WWTF Resiliency Upgrade Project, and authorizing the mayor to execute the amendment and all related documents.
Second.
We have a motion and a proper second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed like sign? I'm sorry. Any opposed like sign? None. Motion carries. Item number E04, resolution number 2025-128.
Before we start this resolution, is Commissioner Williams planning on recusing himself?
I am.
Okay, so you would do so on the record. The clerk will get you the form, and then I would ask if you would step out the room during discussions. Usually that's what happens.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, whatever is customary. Is there specific language around?
You can just say that you want to recuse yourself.
Okay,
from this next item.
I will recuse myself from the next item, resolution number 2025-128,
Because you have a conflict.
because there's a conflict.
You can step out.
Okay. Yes? No?
Yeah, you can step out. A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Fort Meade, Florida, authorizing the mayor to negotiate and execute a lease agreement for the use of the property located at 202 West Broadway Street, also referred to as the Plaza Facility, for the purposes of holding city commission meetings and other bona fide municipal events, establishing a cost not to exceed $400 per month for up to 12 months, providing that the agreement shall be in the form of be in a form acceptable to the city attorney, and providing for an effective date. Before we begin, I do want to point out one thing here in this resolution that apparently I must not have seen, but in the last whereas it says it's authorizing the mayor to negotiate the contract. I did send this in writing stating that I don't believe that any contracts, agreements, or anything like that should be negotiated by any staff. That should only come through the city attorney.
Yeah. So, agree. So at our December 9th meeting, we talked about how crowded the room is. And as you can see tonight, it's crowded tonight. And so after that meeting, I met with the building owner at 202 Broadway, Mr. Ramel Ford, and he proposed to me that we could be over at that building, $200 per meeting. That's what he would charge us. And I felt like it was reasonable and a bargain. And so they would still have full total control of the building. It's just that when we would have a special meeting or city commission meeting, we would do that. And so that's kind of what I'm asking. If we could have that as a alternative, and the resolution would just allow for the city manager to negotiate, the terms in a form acceptable to the city attorney, because she might say this needs to be this or this might need to be that, but it allows for the us to have an alternative space. So
Gotcha.
So just to clarify, you want the city manager to do it or the mayor? Because right now this resolution stands, it says the mayor.
Yeah, well, it says to me it's ChatGPT. So when you use ChatGPT, sometimes it gets it wrong. So it would be the city manager.
City manager.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only clarification that I would add, and I love the idea, I mean, that room is really small, would be a statement of clarity for where the meetings were, so that the public isn't directed to one place or another, that when the announcements are being made, we're very, very clear as to where that meeting will be for that period.
That's required under the law.
Correct.
Right.
However, the issue that I wanted to clarify is that what I spoke of, the concerns I raised, is coming up with a process to identify when to anticipate a large crowd, because I don't think that it should be just automatic. It should be on an as needed basis. And so that's what was asked of the administration, is to come up with a process to identify or to gauge if a large crowd can be anticipated.
And
so that's what the ask was.
to clarify, I did speak with Interim City Manager Brown about that. That was one of my concerns as well. If this was supposed to take effect immediately, if it was supposed to be next month, how often, and he did state the same thing that you're saying now to me. So I assume that however you guys made the motion for whomever is going to negotiate this, that would be in there. But that is one of the things that he did state would be there. It wouldn't be for every single meeting. I guess the city manager would anticipate, like you're saying, if there's going to be a bigger crowd, and then make that decision at that time to go over. So that could be placed into the agreement.
So my question is, what does that process look like? How are we going to gauge?
Well, listen, we're just trying to get authorization to have the conversation. And then if the commission says, let's have the conversation, the city attorney and I, what we spoke about was, there's no game plan. It's fluid. you know, she'd be involved with trying to assist because we said, what is this going to be? Is it going to be twice a month, once a month? Is it structured? I just think it's a good alternative spot in the event you want a town hall meeting like they had the other night. You can have one there with the commission.
And it was also suggested about the community center. Did we look into that?
And we would terminate this contract if we got into a contract or whatever arrangement we got into. It would be done, I believe, in December is when we think that the multipurpose community center will be.
No, we have a current community center now.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I did not look at that.
So
Also, I'd like to entertain other places in town, like the American Legion. Offers a banquet hall in there, and we can have meetings there.
well, the other part that concerns me is we need to continue whatever location we land on or locations. We need to have the ability to conduct our meetings the same way that we do now, which is via YouTube and all of that. So they need to have the ability to provide that service so that our individuals who will not be in person can watch this as we have already made available.
Well, this is not something that you have to act on. Okay, This is a discussion, and if you green light it, then that's when the attorney would get involved and would do whatever instrument it would to carry this out. So just to have a discussion about it.
But I mean, I don't think any of us can gauge when the crowd is going to be large and when it's not. But it's sometimes depending upon what is going to be on the agenda. For instance, January 13th is going to be a big meeting because we're anticipating possibly discussing in further about the data center as well as the swearing in of our next commissioner. So 9 times out of 10, that's going to be a large gathering. Now, whether the meeting that we just set next week on the 23rd will be large or not, I have no idea. I would think it may not be as many, but then here you go, you never know. So
It just gives you flexibility.
it does. It gives us flexibility.
You might not ever use it.
Well,
You may not ever use it.
the purpose in having a process to gauge whether it's necessary or not is for when we post. So when we post, we have to give the location, as he said, it's the law. And so that will cut down on confusion. So we have to be able to at least gauge to be able to do so. Now, City of Daytona, they have a process. There are other municipalities that have a process. I just asked if we could look into it. And how we move forward, we move forward.
Well, quick speak.
Anyone from the public would care to speak on this? Come on.
Hello again. This sounds good. I mean, as the way I read the resolution, I didn't read the whole thing, but if it's like $200 per meeting, and if we don't use it, we don't owe anything, but it's a great backup plan until we get our commission or their thing down there fixed. We have somebody here in the community that attends our meetings who's saying, hey, look, I have this. It's available to you. He may or may not make the money. I mean, he's offering it to us. It's not a money-making deal. He's trying to help the city, and that's how I feel about it.
Thank you. Anyone else care to speak on the item? Come on forward.
My name is Scott Lynch. And I just think that this is a direct conflict of interest, basically all the way around. We have a Fort Meade Community Center. Now I do know that Boys and Girls Club are doing some things there. Why couldn't we, if we had a large crowd, why couldn't we be in the community center?
Good. Again, we will have to gauge because they would need time preparation to do whatever they need to do with their items in order for us to move forward. So that's why I propose let's look at a process to gauge. But even if that is an option, they would need time to
And
prepare.
that option there wouldn't be no cost to the city. We already own it, correct?
Correct, but we do need to be respectful that they're utilizing that space and they would need time
to
make it available.
Yes.
But as she said, if we decided to say, hey, January 13th might be a large meeting, we can give them enough warning to prepare.
Right.
You see?
Thank you.
And then we can also be on the schedule for the plaza as well.
Yeah. And Mayor, we just renegotiated our
Contract.
Mayor, we just renegotiated our contract with the Boys and Girls Club, and I believe it was for exclusive. It was use of an office space. It was for exclusive use of an office space, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think it was for the complete facility or
Yeah.
auditorium area.
That's correct. If my memory serves me correct, I believe Interim City Manager Brown is correct on that. It wasn't for the total space, and then there was a provision in there that talked about giving them ample notice just because they are using it and they have day-to-day operations that are going.
But it would be available for us to use.
As of now, it doesn't look like it is.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, with the lease that we have in place that we just signed.
So we put in place office space,
Yeah.
and we've never utilized office space out of there.
Well, I believe in the lease that was done prior to this administration, there was something in there that talked about some space that you guys, I guess, had never used before for any reason at all. So that was in the previous.
We'd had meetings in there before.
Correct.
Well,
And
you
all
may-
we
you-
did was
you may have had meetings.
Correct.
Okay.
And-
We did a staff review of the actual lease agreement. Okay. We came to you a few months ago. At that meeting, there were some items in there, and it had to do with what I thought and what I interpret to be an office space. Okay. And I know that we had Lakia Johnson. She's kind of managing that asset for us and ensuring that, things are being run properly. But I don't believe it was for exclusive use of the facility. It was for an office space and or storage area there. But we can look into it. I mean, we're just discussing it anyway, so all this can be, fleshed out. But I don't think that we could have a meeting there. And if they do, they're doing it and it's not within contract. That's what I'm fairly certain about. So we can look at it, evaluate it.
Yeah.
But this is temporary until we get
Right.
the real facility together. So.
Mr. Ford.
Thank you. I just want to be clear about something for people that may have questions. This is not about the plaza or me making any money off the city. I've sat with you listening to the commission meetings, and I've heard you whisper, it's hot in here. It's stuffy in here. So I offered the building as a gesture to help. The $200, I'm not making, the light bill is over $1,200 a month, so that's not going to do anything for me. But this is something to help you guys be more comfortable, have a water fountain if you need to get water, and have air. This is all this is about. So I don't know how you feel about that, but it's just to help you feel more accommodated and comfortable in a hot and stuffy setting like we're in at times here. That's all this is about.
State your name.
Ramel Ford, the owner of the plaza.
Gotcha. All right. Any
Correct me if I'm wrong, but the resolution is simply to move forward as an option. So we would then have two options. Correct?
from what's being said, one may not be an option. We may only have this one option, which is the plaza.
The plaza, yes, yeah, I agree.
Okay.
Now, could we not look at the American Legion?
Give me a second. At this time, we have someone at the
Ashley Gooden,
Go ahead.
1610 Ansley Avenue. I've been to the American Legion very recently, and unless they've done a lot of upgrades, it's very hot. The bathroom facilities are not up to par. As a suggestion, I know that we keep talking about not being able to gauge when there's a large meeting. The good thing is the plaza is right around the corner, and a lot of us park over there anyway. Right? So when we're in our own office buildings and they move the meeting, what do? Put a sign on the door. The meeting has been moved. I'm not sure how difficult that would be if in the event we come here and it's too packed, because it was unbearable in here last week. And we do have a lot of elderly people in our community. The plaza's empty during the week. Right, we don't want to uproot the community center if we don't have to, when there's a building that's being offered for a very, very minimal amount, when all we have to do is pull some chairs out, everybody's comfortable. There's drinks, there's ample bathroom space, there's parking space, and I think it'll be good for the community until the city can do better. Let the citizens of the community that want to help the community help the community.
Correct. And the only thing is it has to be properly noticed. So that's why you can't just move it at some point. Anyone else from the community? If you have to come up to the mic.
I don't know if I don't ask. I understand it has to, Lisa Rice,
Thank
I understand it has to be properly posted. But is there something we can put in place? Let's say something big's going on and you find out last minute and put a note on the door, for lack of a
It
better
simply
word.
don't work that way.
Okay, don't know if I don't ask,
Yeah,
right?
it's okay.
Don't know if I don't
It don't work that way.
We can still notice it, and at the same time, staff can put a note on the door in case somebody missed the notice. We'll notice it as the state requires, as the law requires, and then the day of the meeting, staff can put a little note on the door.
Can't have a meeting because I know it's property.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. We'll notice it properly based upon the law. But on the day of the meeting, we can put a note on the door just in case somebody didn't get the notice that the meeting is 1 block over.
Down the street.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
If no one else,
So I have the lease up that we signed with the Boys and Girls Club. It doesn't specifically say they have exclusive use, but I would say they probably do have rights to exclusive use of that, meaning the city wouldn't just be coming in and putting meetings there. The times in their lease are they're operating from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So we would be, the city would be disrupting the times and we would be in violation of that lease if we were to go in at a different time. And I believe most commission meetings start at 6 o'clock. What is none, or 7 sometimes maybe, what's non-exclusive is the outer parts, the racquetball courts, the basketball courts, the picnic, the parking lot. That's the stuff that they have non-exclusive use over. So that's just to give you a little bit further about that. It doesn't seem very likely that we would not be in some form of breach if we were to take advantage of using the Boys and Girls Club as a facility.
gotcha. And because that's also one of our voting precincts. So
It is. And so in the lease that you signed on Exhibit A and Exhibit B, it specifically gives you right to have that as a voting precinct and giving them notice, and the clerk does a really good job of that. But absent the voting precinct, just using it as an alternative to be able to have other meetings and different things of that nature, the lease itself doesn't call for that. Maybe because you guys have not done that in the past. That is something that if you want to look at adding to it in the future, you can. But at this point in time, right now, it's not there.
correct. Well, at the time, we specifically discussed utilization of the community center, and it appears that's another thing that didn't get followed up on. All right. So here we go. Where are we now after all this discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve resolution R2025-128.
We have a motion on the floor to approve,
I'll second.
and we have a proper second. All in favor of approving the Plaza Facility Use Agreement signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed like sign?
Aye.
I'm sorry. I got to remember to give pause of it. So I'll start that over. All in favor of approving the Plaza Facility Use Agreement signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed like sign?
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on to item E.
You gotta get Mr. Williams,
Oh, thank you.
Commissioner Williams.
We had him a good little break.
Great time zone.
All right. Item E05, Resolution 2025-129.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Fort Meade, Florida, authorizing the approval and execution of enterprise fleet management agreements to modernize the city's fleets, providing for implementation and providing for an effective date.
Discussion, Mr. Mayor. And for the city manager, is this a time-sensitive item? And more specifically, can this item be deferred to our January meeting so that the incoming city manager also has a chance to be brought abreast? Is this a time-sensitive item?
I don't know that because I know the pricing is time limited, but I'm not sure if it can go until January 13th or not. But we can check with the gentleman. He's here this evening.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Woodward. Yeah, could you? Yeah.
What's your name? So I don't.
Before you get into anything, you heard the question about the pricing. Is it time certain that we have to act on it before to keep the same amount that I'm looking
Before the January 13th, 14th meeting? Thank you, 13th.
Yeah, looking at the models of vehicles that the city has been looking at and talking with some of the departments, there are vehicle cutoffs that are coming up January 9th specifically with the Chevrolet Silverado 2026 quad cab as well as regular cab. There's already been numerous cutoffs of other manufacturers. Toyota, for example, has cut off basically their entire product line. So we're seeing allocation of vehicles filling up and cutting off sooner than expected. So while there's only one manufacturer type right now that's listed before that 13th, it's not all of them. So I believe that with that information, you will decide.
All right. Any further any questions for Enterprise Fleet Management?
I don't believe I have it.
Mr. Taylor, Commissioner Taylor, any questions for Enterprise Fleet Management?
No, I was in on the discussion last week, and I'm very clear on how it's going to go.
Okay. At this time, is there any discussion from the public? Come on forward.
Wanda Whitehurst, 850 Southeast Pine. If I understand it correctly, the question is it a time-sensitive situation? Can we postpone this until January meeting when we have not only a possible city manager, but also a new commission on board? I'm under the impression that if Enterprise wants the business from the city of Fort Meade, a couple of weeks, 3 weeks should not make that much difference. Now, if they want our business, I think that there should be some concessions on vehicles, whatever. I don't care if it's a Silverado or whatever, but I think that they should be willing to work with us if they want our business. And I don't think we're asking for a month. We're not asking for 6 months. We're only asking for a few weeks. That's my opinion.
Okay. Anyone else care to speak on that? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor.
Discussion. Thank you all for coming. Kind of familiar with how this works. If they made the vehicles and manufactured them, I'm sure they could be a little bit more gracious, but since they don't, I think that's basically what they were alluding to in regards to costs that we would incur. So I believe that Mr. Brown and staff have done a great job of vetting, and they've done a great job of presenting the information to us to where I feel very comfortable with deciding and not delaying until a new city manager comes in, because once he too gets to look at the contract and see the cost savings, and compared to how we've done things since the city has been in existence, I think he would be very pleased with what has taken place should this move forward tonight. I think the cost savings is significant. Compared to how we were doing things before and how we were getting vehicles repaired, how they were not being maintained, and being driven for 30 and 40 years. We don't have staff on board that can properly maintain vehicles and make sure they stay on schedule with maintenance. And as a result, we're putting them at risk, and we're putting other citizens at risk because they're driving vehicles probably with tires that may pop or engines that may go out. because they're just not being properly maintained. With this contract, we don't have to worry about that because they're going to make sure we stay on schedule. And as a result, in the long run, like I stated before, we hired Mr. Brown and tasked him with finding ways for us to save money. I think he's done a great job from the start, finding ways for us to save money. And this is a great way to save money. We need great vehicles. We need safe vehicles. And I think that is paramount. Safety is paramount. So I think it would be beneficial that if we move forward.
Okay. Any further discussion?
In addition, I work for a company that leases equipment and vehicles, and I understand that the leasing company really doesn't control, and I understand the public comment with regard to if they want our business, they'll wait. It really doesn't have anything to do with enterprise. It has to do with the forecasting and scheduling and production of the manufacturers. So I also think this would be a money-saving and excellent program.
Okay. Turn to Steve. That's all I was going to say. Whenever he's speaking, thank you. That's it. All right. So, with it, any further discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve resolution R2025-129.
We have a motion to, and we have a proper second to approve resolution 2025-129. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed, like sign? None. Motion carries. Moving on to item E06, resolution 2025-130.
A resolution of the City Commission of the City of Fort Meade, Florida, authorizing submission of modification number 3 to sub-grant agreement number 22 CB-S18 flare number H2489 with the Florida Department of Commerce, authorizing staff to negotiate and execute related contract modifications, providing for severability, providing for an effective date.
Good evening. Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Staff and partners met last week at the request of the Vice Mayor to look at some acceptable uses for an additional $1.1 million that remains in the CDBG grant COVID funding that the city received. What we have here is there are two handouts that provide some background of two. One is from Bell Tower Consulting, who we are utilizing with for consulting on a myriad of our grants. And this is a document that details some of the acceptable uses for this COVID funding. Talks about lots of rules and regulations concerning the funding. And we also have a handout from an organization that staff met with. We discussed a potential partnership with a company that has supported small businesses in Polk County through financing, training, technical assistance. The program concepts we reviewed include micro grants, large loan opportunities, complementary incentives such as required business training, pop-up shops, facade improvements to businesses. So those are all options. I will let you know that our grant manager for the current grant, Fred Fox, is on the line. And we do want to let you know that the city has spent a lot of time going over the various options. And at this point, we are running out of time to spend the funding. There's lots of material for you to review, but the recommendation of the staff would be to reallocate the funding to the two existing projects because we just think that we might run out of time to spend the funds.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, and I know we have Fred on the on the phone. Fred and I spoke. It was a very direct conversation where I asked, did we have time to use these funds for business grants? To which the answer was clear: is that we did have time. We didn't have an abundance of time, but that we do have time. So, in my request, because that was very clear, and my request from last week and the response today, has something changed from the information that was shared with me that we do have time?
Let's let Fred respond to that question, and then I'll add some commentary.
Basically, in a very fairly quick conversation with Florida Commerce, they have managed one of these projects, and it's in Port St. Lucie. And what that project was, that the business was incorporated prior to 2019, so that it was incorporated during COVID, and it could verify that they had lost funding year to year between any one year and the next year due to COVID, that they could get a grant up to $10,000 to offset that loss. It was businesses had to be in certain low moderate income census tracts, or the people that owned the businesses had to be in low moderate income households, members of low moderate income households. That's the program, the one program that Florida Commerce has run in another community. So if we were to do anything, that's the kind of thing you're looking at, unless we would have to go back to Florida Commerce and look at a different program and have them buy into it. And again, you've got basically the first couple of months are going to be upgrading your environmental review, because the project has to be incorporated into it. That is a separate wing of Florida Commerce. And once they sign off, it's going to take that. Basically, the amendment would involve the city preparing an amendment request going up to Florida Commerce. They would create an actual amendment, send it back unsigned to the city. The city would then have the mayor sign it. It would then go back to Florida Commerce, and at some point they would sign it and send back a fully executed document to the city. Until that fully executed document is received, the city could not expend any funds or obligate any funds for that activity.
Fred, thank you for explaining the process again. That wasn't a direct answer to the question. So when you and I spoke, my very direct question to you was, do we have time? And on that call, you stated to me that we have a limited amount of time, but we have time.
3 months to obligate and expend the funds.
Correct. Correct. So we have time.
If it all goes smooth, again, no guarantees.
Yeah.
If it all goes smooth.
Yes, sir. No guarantees in life. I do think that is very important, and I want to emphasize this, that we support our small businesses here. We are constantly in conversations about the lack of life and vitality in our downtown area, as well as in our MLK corridor. And if we have the time, which Fred, you confirmed to me that we do have the time, again, not an abundance of time, but we do have the time, I would recommend that we move forward in exploring options to support our businesses here, and in hopes of also attracting more businesses in our downtown corridor and our MLK district and otherwise.
Any questions for Mr. Fox?
No, I don't have any questions. I mean, I do echo what Commissioner Williams is saying. However, what I just heard him explain as to how a business would have to provide proof that they were in existence, I I guess, around 2019 and have to provide proof that they suffered loss as a result of COVID. In addition, I don't know this to be factual or not. Maybe Mr. Fox can answer to this. If an individual previously received funds to assist them with their business as a result of COVID, would they be able to, in essence, double dip? Even though they might be, because if they receive funds, say, for instance, from the county, and now Fort Meade is having a program, would they be able to receive additional funds tied to the same COVID, era? So I don't know how all this plays out, but
I can answer that.
Okay.
Basically, under this entire program, there's what they call duplication benefits, which means if the individuals receive basically funding from another source for the same loss, they would not be eligible under this program.
Right. Okay, and that's what I thought. And so the thing that I do here, yes, I want to help. Yes, I want to be of service. But with the limited amount of time, will we be able to expend those funds, first of all, and then find those businesses who qualify because they haven't received any other type of assistance at all? Would we have enough time? That's just, and because at the end of the day, will we be satisfied with spending only a small portion, or do we want to spend all of it? Because it appears that there's a possibility with the limited amount of time and the paperwork and the backlog and the approval process seems like it absorbs a lot of the time. Would that be correct? Because approval doesn't happen overnight. And that can be the most amount of time waiting to gain the approval. And then once we gain the approval, then that's absorbed 2-3 months. And now we're only left with 3 months to expend the funds. So are we going to do some work on our end to line up businesses and possibly give them a little bit of hope that there's funds available? I think we would have to be very, very strategic as to how we will roll it out to ensure that the funds are expended completely and not returned.
There is a list that went out back whenever we were dealing with the initial process of every single business that received the COVID funding. And it specifically tracked the businesses here in Fort Meade where we focused on that. And so that information is already out there, the ones who've already utilized the funds. With this being CDBG funding, does the caveat apply to the business owner that they have to live on or below poverty level to qualify?
Poverty level, they have to be low moderate income.
Low to moderate income, sorry.
Has to be located in the low moderate income census tract.
So that would be another hurdle. So my next thing is, how does the funds apply to these two potential agencies? Are it the same thing that Mr. Fox just expressed there? Does that apply to dispensing those funds to these two agencies and they utilizing the funds? How does that come about?
We haven't gotten that far. What we've done on top of what Mr. Fox did per your direction, going to Commerce, we actually met with some folks that could probably help us. And now hearing this is a different wrinkle than what I was informed, because now it appears that it's got to be a business that existed during COVID. Is if I'm hearing. Greg, let me
So
talk.
whomever's speaking out, please do not speak out from the
audience. I'm just telling what the grant manager said. So because what we were thinking, the staff, we were thinking, because it's $1.1 million, instead of doing $10,000 micro assistance grants, we identify maybe 4. This is me and the finance director talking about how this money could be spent, how it could be very impactful if it's being used in the corridor. Because a 10,000 business assistance grant might not be enough. Okay, and um, and if it's related to the 2019 coronavirus and it has to be a business that existed at that time, then that might not be eligible. Now, there are other things that we talked about. Was a facade improvement program. I believe it might be eligible, but I'm not sure. Okay, and we'd like to use the grant money to do that as opposed to our CRA money, because those CRA monies can be used to do something else. Okay, so we brought in a capacity builder to help us use that money to program out facade improvements for Broadway and other places that are in the CRA. I mean, in the low income census tract areas. And the other thing we looked at was maybe bring in an organization here in Polk County, I think in Lakeland area. And what they would do is come in and they would create like a business first program where business people that, well, not business people, people are trying to get in business that might have a good idea. You would set up a program that would help them get their business up and going. And then it was a graduate studies program. So you had the folks that had never been in business that want to start a business. Then you had folks that are already in business, okay, that has a business license, that has, everything they need, but they may not know how to write a business plan and or meet with a banker to look at what the financial, I'm very sorry about that. What I'm trying to do is explain to you what we did behind the scenes when we talked about this, because I know you had spoken with Fred, and I said, well, we need to try to get to a yes, because I'd like to see the money go into the business community as well. And
That would be a good thing.
we're trying to identify how we do that. So here, this wrinkle with it's got to be a business that exists in 2019. Could what those three things I just said, the facade improvement program, can that be part of this, Fred? Can a business assistance program that we fund, we identify a business and we fund them. And then there was a program we thought, okay, that let's say it's a franchise, they're in Lakeland somewhere, but they want to open up another satellite office or something, business in Fort Meade. We would provide them with the financing to do that through a grant. So I can't think of one right now, but I would just say, like, let's say Sonny's Barbecue or Subway, okay? We would help them site themselves in one of these empty spaces on Broadway. They get to 50 or whatever the case may be, but it has to lead into them opening up their doors, and we have to come up with a way to deal with it. But these are things that we've been talking about since our meeting last week. And so on top of what Fred is doing. So,
Thank you for sharing that. And my point is, which I asked Fred last week, and I'm restating, we have the time. We do not have an abundance of time, but we have the time, and we owe it to our residents, emerging business owners, desiring business owners, all the things that you stated, to work at full speed to make sure that we maximize the time that Fred stated that we had. Fred gave an example of one city. I don't know if one city equals the guidelines across the board for every municipality, but as you can hear, I am very passionate in my voice about us finding a way to assist business owners here, people who desire to come here to do business in Fort Meade, because we can't keep complaining about a problem, about there being no businesses in our downtown corridor and MLK and otherwise. And we're not utilizing funds that are available, that we have the time to use to help businesses.
All right.
Echoing Commissioner Williams, Mr. Fox, is the deadline for disbursement of funds, or is it for the identifying candidates for the disbursement of funds?
Disbursements of funds. Basically, Florida Commerce's contract with HUD runs out in September. They need time at the end. They need at least a month and a half at the end to do their closeout to submit to HUD. So we have got to have everything submitted to them for reimbursement by the end of June or shortly thereafter. That's what we're saying. At the end of June is a pretty hard deadline. We might get next 30 or 45 days, but that's a pretty hard deadline.
So it sounds like we already have some time that we can use to identify the list that the mayor mentioned that we acquired or developed over the last year. I would like to see us sort of do our due diligence over the next few weeks, and echoing again Commissioner Williams, perhaps make this decision and do the due diligence and maybe push it off until the 13th. I 2-3 weeks. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference in the outcome.
Well, if that's the direction you choose to take, we're going to need a little more direction on exactly what you want to do so that we can present it to Florida Commerce and see if they're going to buy it. Again, the one example I mentioned is the one that I know Florida Commerce has carried out somewhere else, so they're familiar with it. Anything else, that's the only one that I'm aware of, based upon a conversation with them, that they've actually done. So anything beyond that, we would have to basically provide them with an example and get them to buy it.
I think the easy part is determining who was in business before 2019. Sunbiz.org has all the licensing information and yearly statements of every small business that applies for a license. The hard part is determining if they had lost during that same period, but we could develop that pretty quickly with the help of the businesses and reviewing their statements and audits and all those kinds of things. But if we have a couple more weeks, we can look into if we can use those funds for things that we were going to spend CRA money for, or like the windows that we did downtown, all that kind of stuff. So just a thought.
Okay.
I would say, based upon the research that you all have already done, the information that I have in front of me, that we could direct Mr. Fred Fox and staff to pursue an amendment to this grant for assistance with what you have outlined here, the public services and the micro enterprise assistance for the expansion of small business loans to LMI people and to open new businesses in their communities, because it says that it's already been tied back to COVID-19 and the Housing and Community Development Act. So you guys have already done the work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would be okay with
Let
staff.
me comment here. Basically, if we go from something that is not basically touching anything and changing anything physical, i.e. windows, doors, water lines, sewer lines, once you get into anything like that, then we're getting into a full environmental, which will take 4 to 6 months, and then that's even if it was an allowable project, the environmental review time it would take is just not going to give you time to carry it out. And the difference between an environmental review for providing somebody a reimbursement for something they lost, or providing for a meal, or providing for a utility bill, as opposed to actually doing a physical improvement to a facility, be it a building, a water line, sewer line, which takes a full environmental review through the HUD programs, and those will take a minimum of 4 months just for the environmental review.
Well, I got a recommendation, because I know we're not talking brick and mortar development or site civil improvements. What we're talking about is our programs.
Correct.
That are related to COVID-19. And on this front, this page here, there's like a 2-pager there about the programs that they have that directly related to COVID-19. If you want, what I can do, I got a couple of days and I'll work my butt off to make it happen, is put together a short list with some information that Fred could take and send it to Florida Commerce and get them to say yes. And if that's the case, then we'll come back on the 13th, or Amy will come back on the 13th with some options for you. And hopefully.
Yeah, if you provide me with that list, then I will schedule, coordinating with your staff, a Teams meeting with Florida Commerce and get input, and then follow it up with emails so we have written correspondence as well.
Great. So before I'm assuming we need an form of a motion. Before I make the motion, I do want to say it's very important to me that when we have conversations, Mr. Fox and otherwise, as it pertains to the city, that if we have a conversation and a very direct question is asked, if something is possible, is that, and I'm going to use your word, you said a wrinkle, that a wrinkle is not thrown in, because see, that wrinkle can be ironed out beforehand, which is why I asked, is it possible for these funds to be given out in forms of a grant to help our businesses? So with that said, I'd like to make a motion that we have Mr. Brown, City Manager Brown, and staff to provide a list of options, business grant options, to Mr. Fox to present to the state for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, like I'm sorry. Did he say aye?
He said aye.
Okay, sorry. So we have, let the record reflect that is any opposed, like sign. None. Okay, so motion carries. All right. Moving on to item.
That's it.
That was it.
That's it.
Because we dropped the other two. All right. With that being said, meetings times. Our next meeting times are.
Yeah, I'd like to say something, Mr. Mayor. Well, first of all, I've really enjoyed working as your interim city manager. And I think some of the things that we've been able to work on, you're going to continue to hit home runs. I would just tell you that you're in a position of authority, but you're also in a position to do what's right and proper for the community. And I'm certain that you will continue to do good things for the town. I would also like to comment the staff and what I've seen in the short time I've been here, that, with Amy and the group, they've done a good job getting along, moving the organization forward. That's going to continue. But there's been no higher honor than to work with you guys, because I've worked with a lot of commissions all over the state, all over the country. And what I see here is, it's good work being done. Continue to do it. Now, here's the pitch. If you need help after the 13th, I'm available to help you with this. Okay, because I know there's some hand holding, some things that need to happen in order to make some of these timelines. I don't want to leave you high and dry. I'm not under any disillusion that things can't happen. You know what I mean? So I think it can happen. Right now, you need kind of you need double help right now. Parallel help is what you need, because a new city manager coming in, I can see it's good that it's permanent. It's a permanent person. But in 5 months, I've gotten a good hold on what's going on here at the organization. I'd like to help out if needed. Okay, just wanted to tell you that. All right.
Appreciate that.
That's all I have. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, sir. Dates for next meetings.
Yeah, December 23rd at 5 p.m. We'll have the special meeting to approve the contract, hopefully with the new city manager. January 13th will be our regular city commission meeting at 6 p.m. And on the 14th, January 14th will be,
But
there's no reason to have a January 14th meeting now.
I'd like to jump in, Mr. Mayor. Although the reason for having the meeting no longer exists, I at least want to put on the floor that that may be a perfect opportunity to have the company that is working on the data storage, data facility, to come and present and talk to residents and the commission. I don't know if that's possible in the time frame. I think it is necessary. It is needed. One of the residents stated that earlier. So if the date is available, or we're still available on that date, that may be a great time to have extended conversation regarding.
Yeah, so you're going to be acting on 2 items on the 13th.
Yeah, I was going to say it needs to be before.
Before.
On the 13th. So the 14th would be after you act on the development agreement and the
Could we
PRWC.
have on the 13th? Do you think that would work if we had them speak before that vote is taken?
Maybe have them come with
earlier.
the presentations
Yes.
in the beginning of the meeting,
Right.
and then have the development agreement and the PRWC companion item at the end of the meeting.
That would be great. My only concern is I know we have residents who get off at 5 o'clock, and so giving them an opportunity to get here, and I think we're all getting it. I can't move around in the city, which I understand, without residents letting me know how passionately they are concerned. And so if we do it at 5, I don't know that it gives them enough time to get here to have an interaction with the company and voice their thoughts.
Or you can have a meeting just to discuss the data center, maybe the week before that, first of the year.
Okay.
Does the commission
have
You
thoughts?
need more time than a half hour now.
Yes, sir.
Because I expect there'll be a
Right.
lot of involvement
Mhm.
from citizens.
Would you please not yell out? Thank you. Now, any other dates to offer for that prior to the 13th?
Would the 12th work for you, Commissioner Watts?
I believe Mr. Taylor said he would be traveling on the 12th.
Oh, okay.
But yes, won't work for me.
Okay.
And I'm trying to see the week before. I think I'm out on the 2nd and 3rd.
The 6th.
What is January
Trying to get
6th?
in.
Okay.
I'm trying to get into my schedule while I and not disconnect you all.
Commissioner Watts, January 6th work for you?
I'll work with whatever y'all got.
Okay.
Now, hold on one second.
I'm sorry. Mr. Taylor, if you'll give me one moment, it's Attorney Smith. It looks like the PWRC will not be available before the 13th. So any meeting prior to that isn't going to work.
Well, this is regarding the company coming to discuss.
Yeah, and they are intertwined just a little bit.
Okay.
There's two things.
Is there no way I know we're dealing with schedule. We really need a presentation from this company. And
Well, the
before-
water, you hear
It will have to happen after then. So, because if we're going to allow the company to, the public to have questions answered, then it has to happen before the 13th if we plan on bringing those items back to the commission on the 13th. Now, it would then have to be pushed back. So, is there any way that conversation can be had without addressing the PRWC portion?
They're
I don't think so. I'm just going to tell you no. So at this point, I believe that it may be something for the commission to think about doing, of setting another special meeting and removing it from the 13th and then having them come on the 13th to present, but taking no action. I mean, you guys can do a workshop. It's plenty of things that can be done around that. But no.
I would be in favor of having it at a special meeting to allow the company to present and give residents an opportunity to have an exchange.
Okay.
So, having the items brought back at a special meeting?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And then
Yes,
allow the company the 13th to speak?
Yes, sir.
That would be.
Is there any other items that would need to be presented on the 13th?
That was supposed to come a charter on the 13th, I believe.
Correct. That could take place and allow, if there are no other pressing items that need to be presented on the 13th.
I think I missed something about the charter. What's happening with the charter on the 13th?
The the swearing in the new commissioner takes office on the first meeting of January?
First
Yes.
regular commission meeting. That will still happen. Yes.
Yeah.
No, that will still happen. You guys are trying to figure out the data center discussion
Correct.
before the vote.
Correct.
And the city attorney said, have
Right,
a,
what about the 30th?
Of
That's the Tuesday before New Year's. I know it's an awful time that everybody.
Yeah, Mr. Trailer, we're not going to be able to accommodate any more December dates. December just is not going to work. I won't be here, and I can't get any coverage. So, and I don't think we can commit. I think what we're doing now, though, give me just one moment, is we're trying to commit individuals who are not here at the table that we haven't talked to, right? And so I think that's a little bit unfair to them. So these are individuals that have been working towards bringing something to Fort Meade that obviously the commission has the final say on. But in the interest of fairness, I believe that the best thing that would be happening is the meeting would come next week. If the city manager is, in and all that stuff, he can communicate with the individuals. Staff can be direct to communicate with them. If the commission is okay with putting the development center agreement and the Polk Regional Water Cooperative agreement off until, a week after or whatnot, and that be sometime in January around the 21st or whatever date that the, city manager talks with you guys about and says, I think that would be the best thing, because that would give them a really fair opportunity to make sure they're here and they're in line. And I would probably suggest you doing it at one meeting so individuals can get their thoughts out. And if it's well noticed and it's well in advance, I think that would be a really good opportunity, other than breaking it into two meetings. But because I think it just becomes disconnected at that point. So I would suggest that you just don't have those on the next agenda that's in January. There'll be a new city manager here in place. You guys will talk to him about what you want, and then, he'll set that agenda, and you'll have great leeway over and deference over that agenda either way.
Well, one moment. So the company is already eager to answer questions. So it's a matter of communicating with them, and then they would make themselves available.
They are. So let me just say this. I've been in constant communications with the developers, and Evelyn, your wastewater manager, has been in communication with the Polk Regional Water Cooperative. So has interim city manager Brown and the staff as well, because so there have been constant things of that nature that have been going on, and they are ready, willing, and they do want to come, and they do want to speak, right?
Correct.
So I don't think that's the issue. The issue is scheduling. So it's more than one person, it's more than two people. I don't know, it may be 5, 8, or 10 people on these communications, right? So we don't know who the players are that are going to be coming down and delivering that message. So again, I think it's just a little bit unfair for us to set that. I think the most reasonable, rational thing would be to allow your meeting to come forward in January, and it not to be set with, when the new commissioner is coming in, and at that time, a special meeting can be called by the city manager that can just discuss those two things, and it can be for an extended period of time if you think it's going to go over, an hour, 90 minutes, like you two said. But they are very eager to come, but I just don't think we can speak for them in their schedule right now.
Correct. So we have a regular scheduled meeting for January 13th at 6 p.m. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Oh, question, sorry. Go ahead.
Why do we have to act on that so quick to vote? We've got plenty of time to act, to vote for it or against it. Let the people come in and satisfy our residents with explanations and answering questions. We're not in a rush to sign.
I believe that's what we just said, Mr. Watts.
Yeah, that's what she said.
No, we did offer time to move the voting back further to another month if we had to.
Correct. You guys will decide that on the 13th with the new city manager. Okay. All right.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead.
We're going to adjourn, but I just wanted to publicly thank staff for such a beautiful Christmas parade. I know we've individually reached out. I was blown away. I was blown away by the talent that are in the hands of city staff. So thank you and then I see the joy in our kids. We ran out of candy. Thank you, Commissioner McCutcheon. But it was a beautiful time. So just thank you all. I know that's not an easy task to pull that off. Thank you.
Yeah. I echo that. We had a good time. I did. You guys did a great job. I never seen the trolley look so nice. It was beautifully decorated, and then have an additional float representing the city and staff. I also want to take this time out to say thank you, Mr. Brown, for coming in, stepping up, getting through the weeds, and getting us on track. You and your wonderful staff who are dedicated to not only serving you, but also to serving this commission and the city. Kudos to you all. We see you, we recognize you, we honor you, we value your skill set and everything that you have brought to the city of Fort Meade to ensure that we are rising and that our star is going to begin to shine again, not only in the city, but in our county and in our state. Thank you so much, Mr. Brown. I really appreciate all that you have brought, all that you have taught. And hopefully, it's just sad to see you go. But hopefully,
All good things come to an end, right?
well, that's what they say. That's what they say. And so, again, thank you once again. That's all I have.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So also, thank you, Mr. Brown, for your service. We really appreciate you for keeping this thing afloat.
Appreciate it.
And also making much necessary improvements to our system as we have it already.
It's these folks back here behind.
Yeah, making great hires, so on and so forth. Also, I had a phenomenal time at the parade, and that was the first time we've ever did the wobble at the first time ever.
I'm really sorry.
So history was made again. We did the wobble at the library, our current library. Had a great
I'm sorry
time.
I missed the parade because I do enjoy the parade.
Yeah.
But I did spend that night with my father.
Gotcha.
Well, we
I
understand.
understand. Completely understand. And so I want to always make sure that the audience, our participants, are welcome, and we thank you for participating and enduring that 2 hours and 2 minutes. It's what's needed to continue to make the go in the direction that Fort Meade needs to go. So I did my best to make sure that everybody felt like they could voice their opinion without fear of being shot down, intimidated, so on and so forth. And so thank you for participating. Continue to participate. All right. With that being said,
Thank you all.
oh, sorry, I keep forgetting you, man.
I know I'm in this little box, but the Christmas parade was fantastic. Sitting up there, throwing the candy to the kids, and you catch their eyes, and it was a real Mayberry moment, and it's what I'd love to see here. And thank you all for putting the faith in me for this position. Mr. Brown, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Look forward to moving forward and moving the city forward.
All right. And with that being said, did we have a motion in the second already?
No.
We didn't. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed, like sign. Consider yourselves dismissed. Adjourned.